Let me show you something. See this? That is my skin color. It's looked like this all my life. See this? This is a mirror. I've looked in one many times since I was little. That sound you're hearing? That's my voice. It's only changed since puberty to sound more like an adult. The way I speak, proper standard English, taught nationally in all American schools. Oh, and by the way, I don't call myself black.
Don't need to use the N-word and I speak English properly. Don't need to sell drugs to get RESPECT. Most of my friends are nerds and or from the suburbs. They wear preppy clothes and they don't smoke herbs. I live next door to a country club and listen to rap songs, but I like other music too, so don't get me wrong. Don't need to speak phonics or have the latest electronics. My name doesn't end in Isha and my friendships are platonic. You like your chains. I'm not the same. And that's no shame. Because I know you can barely spell. You kiss and tell. Said I should as well. But you need to keep your chains to yourself. 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 Don't try to put them on anybody else. Don't need to be hood or gangster to claim that I'm real. Don't need to be somebody's bitch or hoe to claim that I'm real. Don't need to be in jail or fight to claim that I'm real. You know those things aren't right. Hey, I'm just being real.
There are people who identify themselves as black. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem arises when some who call themselves black try to force others with dark skin or features that are similar to theirs to also identify as black when those others don't want to. So the audience can get a better understanding of the discussion. Some TV shows, movies, and songs will be used as examples. Please keep in mind that when talking about TV shows or movies, the character, not the actor who portrays the character, is being discussed. In other words, there's a difference between the actress or actor who plays the part of the character being discussed. I don't personally know any actors or actresses, so I can't nor do I want to discuss their real personalities in this discussion. In addition, this is a discussion about behavior, not color or colorism. Let's start with The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Martin. In The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Carlton started out as the norm, but then became the uncool laughingstock. For many years, clean-cut kids from good homes were the norm. That's how most people were expected to behave, well-mannered and well-spoken. Will, the character, not the actor, was not the norm. He was the bad kid or the kid from the wrong side of the tracks. He was the kid that nobody wanted their kids to act like. That is shown in the show when Will's mother recognizes that he is starting to behave badly and sends him to live with a family member so that he could become a good kid. As years passed and times changed, Will became the norm, and as said before, Carlton became the joke. This transition in the show represented how society was changing and a new mainstream black persona started to take shape. Where I grew up, Carltons were the norm and the standard even when Will was starting to become the norm. When I watched the show, I realized they were making fun of Carlton, but didn't think much of it because even so-called white shows were making fun of the yuppie preppy types. The preppy was starting to become uncool in the mainstream at the time. But in the suburbs, they were still the standard and nobody really took the jabs at the preppies seriously. Eventually, even in the suburbs, Will started becoming cool and Carlton started becoming the satire. Jokes stopped being about the ghetto type and started being more about the preppy or well-to-do people of color. From now on, I will use black instead of people of color to make things simple. I thought Carlton was being teased for being preppy, but it became clear he was being teased for acting white. The ghetto or ghetto fab started to become the mainstream image for being black. The ghetto fab or ghetto fabulous are people who act ghetto but aren't poor. In the show Martin was considered a homeboy. That's using the popular slang at the time. He wasn't ghetto. Why do I say that? Because compare Martin to Shanae. Shanae was ghetto all the way, no questions about it. At that time, Martin would be considered as acting like a real black male. He was very different from Carlton and closer to being like Will. Martin and Will were now the accepted average black persona. Back to Shanae. At that time, there were jokes all over the place about the really embarrassing ghetto person some people knew or had in their families. Shanae portrayed that person. She was a lot more ghetto than Martin or his girlfriend Gina. So, now there is Carlton, the well-to-do black persona, Will or Martin, the average black persona. Remember that Will's mother took him out of the bad neighborhood so that he wouldn't become ghetto. And then comes Shanae, the ghetto black persona. Fast forward to today. There is a new black persona, the hood rat. The hood rat is more ghetto than Shanae. Not sure Shanae would even deal with a hood rat. To make the hood rat more obvious, if the Martin show was on today, consider how the characters in Martin would be. In the day of the hood rat, Martin would be a thuggish hustler, and Shanae would be this brawler who spoke poor English and waited around to jump other girls with her friends. That's another distinction. From Carlton to Shanae, they all spoke decent English. Unlike today, where some hood rats speak mostly slang or English at an elementary school level. It sounds harsh, but it's true. Again, this is all about characters that actors portray, not the actors themselves. There is a difference between the actor and the character. The characters are being used to illustrate the different popular black personas. With that said, the best illustration of hood rats would be Menace to Society's O-Dog and Baby Boy's Joseph. The hood rat does exist and is a black persona that will be discussed in more detail in part 2 of Beyond Black to show how some people want all blacks to be. In Martin, Shanae was the female ghetto persona and Brother Man was the male ghetto persona. Gina was the female version of the average black persona. Ashley and Hillary were the female version of Carlton. Living Single is another show that had mostly average black personas, and those were the types I grew up seeing. To give an idea of the environment that I grew up in, there were mainly Carltons, Ashleys, and Hillarys. In less affluent neighborhoods, there were Martins, Wills, Ginas, Maxines, Sinclairs, and Tommies all mixed in. In the projects or lower income neighborhoods, there were Shanaes and Brothermans. When I say lower income, I just mean not as wealthy as Carlton's. That covers a wide range of income levels, including the poor. Josephs and O-Dogs were something I only saw on TV and didn't think were real. I thought they were just exaggerations of ghetto people. The main point is that even among people who would call themselves black, there is a variety of black personas.
I got better things to call myself than a racial slur.
I got better things to call myself than a racial slur.
I got better things to call myself than a racial slur.
Respect my ancestors and don't let that line blur. Switch the beat, switch the beat, switch the beat. Let's go.
Call me brother,
Call me sister,
call me ma'am,
call me mister.
you can call me a tenderoni.
You can even call me
Or
homie.
you can call me home.
You can call me on the phone.
But if you call me the N-word, then you'll hear the dial tone.
You can endear me with other words than a racial slur.
You can endear me with other words than a racial slur.
You can endear me with other words than a racial slur.
Respect my ancestors and don't let that line blur.
Change the beat, change the beat up, change the beat up, change the beat up. Let's go.
Call me honey,
Call me sweetie,
call me nice, pretty, or cute.
too cute.
But if you use the N-word, then you gotta get the boot.
Call me fat,
Call me skinny,
call me short.
call me tall.
If you gotta call me the N-word, then don't call me at all.
I'm your girl,
I'm your boy,
I'm your sunshine,
I'm your joy,
I'm a hero,
I'm a light.
but your N-word, that's not right.